What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, but we're actually talking about BCHG, the Bitcoin Cash GrayScale Trust. And this one comes to us at the request of Tony P. Tony, we're doing this one for you. I am interested in buying this thing, man. You asked if I was interested or if I am invested in this thing. I'm not, but I'm interested in it. I want to start by saying, that this thing is, I've actually got a correlation coefficient thrown on here. You go to indicators, go to technicals, scroll down to C, and you can see correlation coefficient right there. I put it onto BCH, Bitcoin Cash, right there on the Coinbase chart, and you can see that this chart. I want you to know, right? It's the Bitcoin Cash GrayScale Trust, so it is directly correlated to Bitcoin Cash, but it's not perfect. You can see here you have moments where you're more correlated, moments where you even shift into an uncorrelated phase. It's happened. Correlated still, but not as correlated as you are now. It's not 100% of the time, but it is oftentimes more correlated than not. But I'll show you what I mean. Just in case it's kind of like hard to like perceive it, because it does somewhat look similar right now. But just first off, pay attention to how this low looks. It's like a nice, like, kind of inverse head and shoulders low. Very beautiful bottoming pattern, actually, man. That's straight up perfect, actually. Decreasing volume throughout your whole pattern, and then you're increasing in volume as you're breaking out. It's very beautiful pattern, actually. But from low to high here, you moved up 757%. BCHUSD on Coinbase, we know it only moved up like 200 and something percent in that same amount of time, 279% basically. So they do move together, but they don't move together. BCHG, I think it's fair to say, is more volatile, or moves at higher velocities up and down. So I do think Bitcoin Cash is going to go down, and then that's where I'm tying all this in. I do think they're correlated, but I think BCHG has bigger moves. So Bitcoin Cash going down, to me, would imply that Bitcoin Cash GrayScale Trust goes down further. That's my expectation. And if we're looking at this here, I think it does have further down to go. From bottom to top on a fib scale now, you can see that you bounced off your 382, you like kind of triple bottomed off of it, and then you have found resistance on your 236 like a few times. You're really battling it out up here, but it's very common to bounce off the 382, go to the 236, and then continue downward. Maybe you find support down here. Maybe you go to your 618, maybe you go to your 69. It's hard to say, but all of those kind of areas would imply, at a minimum to the 0.5, I would think that we go here. That's a 36% drop. That could be a 50% drop, and that could be a 58% drop. And some of you might be thinking, it's correlated to Bitcoin Cash. Does that mean Bitcoin Cash is going to drop 58%? I mean, maybe. If Bitcoin Cash dropped 58%, this thing would drop more than that, though. Right? So I do think Bitcoin Cash, if it drops, I'm expecting it to drop about 18% or more from here. Let's see if I remember correctly. I already have it drawn on here. Yeah. 18% is at 150 from the current price, and then 135 is 26.6%. So 18 to 26, let's call it 27, 18 to 27%. I would expect Bitcoin Cash on the GrayScale Trust here, or through the GrayScale Trust, to drop more than 18 to 27%, right? If I can get it right there. 18%, just to put it in perspective, that would be basically right where these, it would take you below this weekly closing low right here. It would. And at least on a wicking basis. But if it's going to be more than that, then like a 22% would take you lower than this low. If you make a move down to these lows again, I don't think you're going to bounce off it. I do think you pursue prices lower. And again, 27% was kind of the high end of that drop. I would think on Bitcoin Cash we're going to have closer to a 27% drop than an 18% drop. Bear with me here. That would mean that likely we could see a 35% drop, which again, where is that? On this fib scale from bottom to top up here. That's right there at that 0.5, a previous area that we found resistance. So I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. You can drop 38% or so, right, from the current price, go down to this 0.5 and then come up. That's totally fine. You still have higher lows coming out of this bottom here, breaking out on very nice volume. Is it the most volume you've ever seen? No, but that's okay. Very nice volume nonetheless at a crucial moment. And yeah. I guess that's what I have to say, man. I think it's going to go lower, probably. The weekly RSI looks neutral, kind of weird looking, but it's neutral. Bearish looking daily RSI. Do you have higher highs? You do not. I mean, you have higher highs here. and you don't have higher highs here, that is hidden bearish divergence. Yes, this candle opened here, but it closed lower than where this one closed, and yet you have higher peaks over here than you did over here. So that is hidden bearish divergence. And it might seem kind of like, I don't know what it might seem like. It's got this ascending low formation and then a flat top here, but it's not an ascending triangle. This might seem like it's like a bottoming pattern, right? You got your bottom here and then a double bottom here. I don't think it is. I think that this is just a little bit of consolidation, and then you're going to move down lower, probably a very similar move to this one here. And actually, if we take this move, I'm just going to draw it from top to bottom there, and we were to put it at like the point of turnaround right here, you know, that would take us down to, let's go back out to the weekly. Maybe I drew it wrong. I don't know. Let me see. Top to bottom. No, that's drawn right. Yeah, top to bottom there. That would take you down to like your 618, 69 area, actually. Yeah, that would take you actually like right near your 618. So be aware of that, man. You're at $1.48 now. You could drop more than 50% from here on BCHG. At least, I would think it at least has a 35+% drop coming its way. I would think that at a bare minimum, you are going to see this 0.5 come into play here. But maybe you don't. It's possible that you don't, but that's kind of my expectation. I'm not really seeing anything else that's too crucial to know. Let's see. Uncorrelated a little bit right now, but what it can go back. Anytime it gets uncorrelated, it likes to get correlated. So I don't know. If Bitcoin Cash starts to move up, then this thing will probably start to move up. So that would be a good thing, actually. But I think Bitcoin Cash itself is going to go down. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like it too much, man. Doesn't really seem to care about this purple line too much, so whatever. Probably go below it. And again, man, if you go down below this purple line, you're gonna be at this bottoming period again that you bounced off of, then you hugged, and then moved off of, and now you're coming down again. I would bet you break through it. And your next area of any hope at all would be this topping kind of area here, down at about 91 cents, which is around your 0.5 area from this overall range. So I'm just going in circles here. Probably down is what I would say. And then, you know, once we find a low, probably at this previous area of resistance, once we find a low there, if not lower, we're going to do great things, probably very great things in this coming bull market. You know, if Bitcoin Cash is capable of, from its current price, if it's capable of 100x, I think this thing would be more than capable of a multi-100x, right? From its current price even, a 100x, just to put it in perspective of this thing, would be at new all-time highs. So I think it is safe to assume that we will break new all-time highs, because I'm pretty convinced that Bitcoin Cash is going to do a 100x in this coming bull cycle from the current price, if not, you know, from lower prices, but from the current price even at like 186, which means that I would think that it goes above 18K. I know that sounds crazy, but I do think that it could do that. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe it goes to 13K. That's actually like the minimum that I would give it. But if it does that, you know, it can still pull a 100x if it went down to $130, or near 100x if it went down to 135. So if Bitcoin Cash can pull off a near 100x, I would think that this thing could, at least being more volatile, being more, what's the word I'm looking for? High velocity, being more high velocity, it'll probably do more than a 100x. So from the current price to like wherever like this 1272 would be, that's a 163x, and I do think that's possible. We're at $1.48 right now, $1.48. That's all the way up to $250, maybe even up to $1,541. Man, that would be insane. Let's see, what's the market cap of this thing? Doesn't say. Is there a way to know what the market cap would be? I don't know, man. Does it work like that? Market cap is unknown. I don't know if it works like that, because it's not an ETF, but it's kind of like an ETF, right? ETFs are exchange traded funds, and I mean, this isn't, it's OTC, but I mean, I don't know. It's through GrayScale, which GrayScale isn't an exchange, but they're a trust. I don't know, man. You trust exchanges. Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass. I might be talking about things I don't know. But what I do know is charts, and what the charts are telling me is between $250 to $1,541 is possible. I don't know like how that would work, like money wise, how much they'd have tied up in here, but maybe I don't believe this number so much as I do the 250. But from here, what would that be? Again, that would be a 160x to a potential 1000x on BCHG, which would be nuts. But I guess anything is possible. I don't know if it does that in this cycle, but I would think a multi-100x is in store. Prices between 250 to 500 and something dollars is probably likely, and by the end of this cycle, that would be my opinion. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Big things for BCHG, so long as there's not some kind of like fatal critical problem with GrayScale or like stuff like that. But yeah, take care everybody, have a good day, bye bye.